We are discussing some of the age-old things, and let's talk about Ruben and how I met Ruben. I just wanted to kind of get in here and talk about it. So I guess I should have began with how I met Brother Jed, but I was preaching, and I was doing a bunch of campus preaching at the time, just kind of reading verses, but watching. I mean, I was watching YouTube like crazy. So my heart really goes out to you guys who are just looking for something, some sort of something to watch and gather and stuff like that. Learn as much as you can in this space. There's so many different guys doing it. More of the guys should post, but there's a lot of guys doing it. You should find a mentor in the space, and you should get ready for it. But when I was at the University of Arizona, I saw Brother Jed, and he introduced me to the street preaching, and I had watched Ruben a ton on events. I saw him at the Dearborn, Michigan preach, where the Muslims beat him up. I mean, just a solid preacher. He led the guys. I just really looked up to this guy from what I was seeing on YouTube, what I could tell. I know people would throw slanderous things at him, and they would say this and that and whatever, but I really had faith that he was in it to win it, and he was out and about and doing it. So yeah, I was on Facebook. I was trying to get connected with him, which is kind of hard to get connected to somebody for the first time, just because it is what it is, just because it's hard to get trust and things like that and this and that. But so I ended up, I think I got his number from Micah. I think I got it from Micah Armstrong. And I loved Micah's takes. If you have any questions, just post them. But right now I'm talking about how I met Ruben Isreal, and then he got me into the craziness of event preaching, where I started doing just every event. He really kind of mobilized me to get out of the campus, but I still did the campus intensely. But street preaching is a whole different world, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that street preaching is amazing. It's awesome. If you can't do it, pray for boldness. God, hopefully you're living holy, and God will give it to you. So, but yeah, I called Ruben because Micah Armstrong gave me his number, and then talked to him, and he was like, oh, hey, how's it going, bro? And this and that, whatever. And hey, you should come out to SOPA Vegas. And that was the first. I went to SOPA Vegas basically every year that Ruben, for the rest of his life. He recently died, unfortunately. I kind of wish Ruben was still with us, but great preacher, great leadership skills, unity skills. I mean, things that I don't think that we'll see again. I think different guys have different ways of doing it, but we don't have anyone else like Ruben that has been in it for 30 to 40 years. So he was in it for 30 to 40 years. So there's just people he knew. There's connections. He knew every city like the back of his hand. This guy did not need Google Maps. He didn't need to know where to go for the preach. He knew Chicago Pride. I remember going with him through Chicago and just seeing Chicago's a crazy place. I'd been there before for different conferences for business and stuff like that, but going with Ruben was crazy. And then, going to LA going to Skid Row and filming him and watching him and seeing how he did it. Truly inspiring. I mean, he's truly a radical, truly this and that. And what a lot of people don't realize is that Ruben was down for anything. Like, he would say, you know, he would say anything. He just had this way with the crowd. Like, you know, Jed had the hearts of the campus. I mean, he just, college students loved him. He knew how to tell a story. He knew how to be your best. Jed was your best friend on a campus. I mean, he would tell you a story. He would do this. He would do that. Ruben was like your worst enemy, but then your best friend, because he'd like just challenge you on everything. He challenged sinners. He would challenge the people out there, you know, and I'm not trying to give him a eulogy because he's dead now, but I'm just trying to have it on record that Ruben was an amazing guy, and I think a lot of people just don't realize how great his legacy was. I think it's kind of been tainted at the end, but it's kind of hard. I mean, even for me to see who Ruben could have had, in that Ruben, he had an income that allowed him to go out. He had the connections. He worked really well with people. It's really difficult to have a guy who actually works well with people, you know, and I try to work well with people as much as I can, but I also, you know, if you're a subscriber of this channel, you know I am very, like, dark and white, black and white. I guess that's a black and white. I'm very direct. I'm very this. I'm very that. So I met him at SOPA. Let me go a little bit more into the story about how I met him. So I called him up. I scheduled the ticket, and if you don't know, here I'm a little autistic. I'm a little retarded. So I scheduled the ticket out, I think like 6 months out or 4 months out. I think it was like a $150 ticket, which was cheap at the time. It would be an amazing deal today. But I bought this ticket to go there, and literally 4 hours before the ticket was about to take off, I was in Tucson, and I realized that I had booked the ticket out of Phoenix. So I had to drive up in this like 1992 like piece of crap Buick something. I mean, the thing was, maybe it was an 85 or something. It was just older than heck, and it would overheat. So I drove up halfway to Phoenix, broke down in the middle of the highway, and then kind of swerved off to the side. And it was so bad, I had to call the police to come in and like jumpstart my vehicle or something, or, you know, this is like 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, so I don't remember every little basic thing about it, but the police came, I called them up, and they came and helped me out, and then I went over to the airport, rented a little space to park my car, got the shuttle, got right there, took the red eye. It was late. I think I showed up at like, I don't know, 1 or something. So I think, I don't know who would have picked me up, but I think Ruben picked me up himself, and he was excited about it. We got together. We did SOPA. SOPA Vegas, amazing SOPA when I went. I probably will never go because I'm just like that. I'm kind of done with the whole SOPA scene. And if one of the guys calls me up because of the video or something like that, I would be open to go. But I've just seen a lot of tomfoolery, and I just don't really like the organization of it. And I have yet to go to any SOPAs on the East Coast. I've never been to Atlanta, never been to Florida yet. I know Kevin wants me to get out there sometime, so I'm going to go out there and hang out with Kevin Fair, look up his YouTube channel, cry to God. He does great for what he does. And yeah, so did SOPA. SOPA was amazing. I'm always going to recommend, like, you know, and I don't care if there's like, if there's somebody that's showing up that's a little weird, that's okay. If there's somebody that's this or that and this or that, you know, it's okay. Just go fellowship, try to make some fellowship, try to make some connections, try to do something with the brotherhood, because here, let me check out these comments. Yeah. So Ruben, awesome, you know, and I think what the check out Lift Up Thy Voice. He just commented, but the thing, he's doing a great job with leading the Ruben's what he's been doing over there, but it's great to see LA still going. It's great to see just these different things still going, and yeah, went to SOPA. That was amazing. 5 days. I think I remember, I think that was the SOPA that the Mormon came, and he got super upset, and he was super, well, no, he didn't get, but like, there was some division, and there was some contention about a Mormon being in the ranks and holding a banner and stuff like that. And Ruben just, and then I was able to film the documentary later, but I was trying to be solid, trying to be a brother to everybody. Not everybody, but like, the guys that I thought were legit. Doing what Ruben needed, setting things up, all that stuff. And, I'd really recommend, I love the time that I had with Ruben, and I know now that he's dead, I'm glad that I spent all that time while I was single with him, when I had the time. Because, when you're a single street preacher, when you've got all this time, when you've got all these things, it's just a great time to get out there and to do whatever you want. But when you get tied down with a job, or you have to have bills, or you have debt or whatever, all these things, they kind of distract you from the brotherhood, the fellowship, the prayer life, the fasting life, all these things. And, you've got to focus in, like, seek ye first the kingdom of God. And I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to say, like, seek ye first. Like, if you're single and if you're in the motions, and if you're in whatever, you need to dedicate all that time to the Lord. You don't need work. You don't need money. You need to live by faith, and you need to seek the Lord. That's what you need to do. That's just what your mode is. And if you're not like that, then to me, I believe you're materialistic. You're focused on other things, and you're not going to last in this thing. I mean, we're about the Lord. We're about preaching the gospel. We're about getting the word out. So if you're not in that zone, that's where I'm at, and that's where my guys are. That's where the bros are, So it's time to get real, and it's time to get ready for the Lord. And that's my story. I could go into a lot more, but that's the basics.